Hello everyone and welcome back to EastEnders Weekly. Now I'm changing up the intro this week.
Oh, something new, exciting.
Changed because I just want to say to everyone listening that we are officially the unofficial EastEnders podcast.
That's correct. We are officially the unofficial EastEnders podcast, as foretold by
Aunt Beeb
themselves.
the Auntie Beeb.
Because the BBC got in touch. Nothing horrible. They were very kind.
It's just that people think we're the real podcast, but we're not.
Yes, so we have to make it clear that we are not affiliated in any way.
Not yet.
To the BBC. So we are the unofficial, but we officially are the unofficial.
Yes, that's
podcast.
fun.
That's
our new intro tagline now, I think.
Yeah. So welcome to EastEnders Weekly, the officially unofficial podcast.
Yes.
All about
EastEnders.
Oh.
The BBC soap.
The BBC soap.
Not endorsed by us.
It started in 1985.
Correct. And we're going to be discussing episodes from the 15th to the 19th of April. Ooh. And who are you?
The 19th of April? Why, that would be someone certain's birthday.
Oh, who? I can't think who.
Well, it would be mine. My name's Alex, by the way.
Okay, your birthday, 19th of April.
My birthday. I was hoping you would do birthdays later on, maybe get a mention.
Well, it's there. You have to wait, won't you? See what I've got.
Okay, we'll see.
Special things. And I'm Ben, the host. The official host.
The unofficial official host.
Yes, that's me. So a few storylines to get through. Beck's one we're starting off with. And the tagline for that is, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so tired.
No, I'm so scared. So
yes, Bex is studying, as we know, for the past few weeks. She's been studying, and the same thing's happening again. But a bit of a development in the storyline this week is that she's now on pills.
We don't know if she's actually taken any. We just know that she's bought them off
she's
thinking about the dark web. I mean, Bex is able to delve into the dark web and get her all kinds of pharmacy
Oxbridge
goods.
She's clever.
Yeah, she is. She knows how to, break the code. This all started out really because she is finding all this studying far too difficult.
Yeah, we know that.
And
We've
she's
had it for
stressing
weeks.
out. And Sonia doesn't think she's taking her responsibilities very seriously. And
even though she is.
Yeah, even though it's a big joke to her, and she's going to deliberately sabotage her interview in Oxford, and she's not going to wear a nice pair of jeans. You don't wear jeans in Oxford. You wear a nice dress.
Yeah, but surely to an open day you just wear something normal, don't you? You don't need to wear like a dress.
You should wear something that you feel relaxed in and comfortable.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit nutty.
We had some more location shooting because she went to the open day.
Presumably at Oxford.
And she was in a nice little blue dress that she thought Kush had picked out for her, but no. Martin, her dad, picked it out. Do you think she would have liked the dress if she knew Martin picked it? Or
I didn't know Martin had picked it.
Yeah, he picked it up and said, what about this one, Kush? And then he was like, yeah.
Oh, and then pushed it on Kush to push on to Beck.
And then told Kush, just tell her that you're going to give it to her for free, I'll pay.
Yeah.
Because it was from Kush, he thought, oh, yeah, it's really sexy.
Oh, yeah. He knows style. It's ladies' fashions.
But no, it was actually from Martin.
Oh, I didn't know that was the link. All I know is that Sonia sent out that text message saying action stations to Martin and Kush. And Martin, again, there's something about hiding in EastEnders where I think maybe they need a few more training courses, because Martin just stood behind his stall.
And last week Lola and Jay
stood
were
behind an open bench. Yeah. So anyone could, if Bex had any kind of awareness of the
she was a real Oxbridge candidate, she would have noticed.
Well, I mean, I still question her credentials for Oxbridge, because when someone asked her where she was from, she said Bex. her friend she met at the L.
So where are you from? Bex.
Yeah.
Wolford.
I mean Wolford. So Bex. I know Bex is a bit stressed out from all this studying, but surely you know where you're from.
It is like a storyline from a 1990s American sitcom, isn't it?
We've made comparisons in the past that Bex is the Jessie from Saved by the Bell.
She wears the same
Wolford.
Camel coat thing,
high-waisted jeans and the kind of tied up at the bottom shirt. And yeah, again, it seems to be a carbon copy of the storyline that Jessie was obviously addicted to caffeine pills. To anyone who didn't watch Saved by the Bell, and because she had so much work to do and she had to do the school concert. And Bex doesn't have the school concert to concern herself about. She's just got a lot of studying, because she's not really doing very well at her studying either, because she got Martin to... I don't know if Martin's got a PhD in a doctorate in something, but he knew the answers. He was ticking them off.
Well, he had the test book, I guess.
Oh, did he?
But I wouldn't trust Martin.
You know, I was going to say, I don't
Martin
think...
Fowler.
And unless the answer is explicitly written down in plain English for Martin, I don't think Martin really... You know, it's not like, if I had 3 pears and you added 2 apples, how much fruit have I got? It's not that, is it?
5 a day.
Done. Oh, listen for more of that later.
But yeah, it's just such a bleh storyline because it's like, it's so uninteresting to watch. I suppose this pill spin on it's a bit interesting, I guess.
But it's a drugs thing again.
I know.
Everything seems to... If they're a young character, then they're going to be addicted to some kind of...
And like the Keegan thing, that was actual like hard drugs, and he's just like seems to got over it since his overdose. These
are legal drugs, but Bex is obtaining them legally. So she's getting them on the internet, as I say. And it came in quite an unassuming brown envelope as well. So he was like, "Oh,
on Good Friday as well."
On postal service on Good Friday.
I didn't get mine.
Well, I know you didn't. You're very bitter.
Royal Mail.
Yeah, I know. Sonya's
dragging Royal Mail on the podcast.
Anyone who's works for the Royal Mail, we do apologise right now. You could be upset. We might get fish delivered for our letterbox.
My protein milkshakes then.
All right. You have to air your dirty laundry.
Beck's got her pills on Good Friday.
She got her illegal pills. She bought the day before as well.
She got a courier.
Did she pay 24-hour shipping?
I don't know. But on the box it probably says do not mix with alcohol.
And she did.
We think. We're not sure she had them, but she was quite drunk on one... What was it?
Well, she had a glass of wine, and then she was going to have another glass of wine, but then she went, nah. No, Tracy. I'm having a large vodka. No, gin, I think. She had a gin in the Vic, and then a vodka.
She's Fowler, after all. That's what Pauline had.
Mix her drinks around.
She has the same as her grandma, Pauline.
Yeah.
And a fag. It made me laugh that Whitney was like really shocked that she downed a drink as well. She's like...
I know.
Like, you're about to go to uni, freshest week. Come on, Whitney.
Whitney's a bit too clean cut for my liking. I don't like the way she kind of... She's almost like a young honey. She like watches people, a bit judging.
A bit changed, isn't she? Since Callum.
Yes. Callum is still not planted his seed in her yet. I'm just saying, that's what they want. That's meant to be their story, isn't it? They're having a child.
No, she doesn't want one, does she? She's not ready. She said to him.
Well, I thought she was ready because the wedding of.
The wedding of Mel and Thingy, they were ready because they were in between Mel and Ray. They were in between that tree kissing.
Yeah.
That was silly. But then, like last week, she said she wasn't ready, didn't she?
Oh, I don't know.
Which means she'll get pregnant because she's not ready.
Oh, right. And then there'll be the big question of whether she's ready. Get rid of it. Yeah, if she is actually ready. We'll be talking about whether a young woman is ready for sexual encounters very soon when we talk about the Giant Mitchell story later on the podcast.
Oh, not Louise. I don't want her to be found. Just letting everyone know that now. But yeah, I mean, Bex just got drunk. She tagged along with Callum and Whitney. I can't call him Callum. It's so difficult. Callum, aka Halfway, and Whitney into E20 because they're having like an all-day disco.
They're having an all-day party, which looks like the lamest all-day party. When they said it, I thought it would be like a rave type thing. Like, lots of music, lots of atmosphere, loads of alcohol.
Don't know who's arranging it because Mel's not been functioning.
Well, Sharon's at home cooking a fish.
And Billy's not there either.
Oh, yeah, Billy's having the fish, and Mel is manipulating everyone around the square. Yeah. Any male.
So I don't know who arranged this 24-hour party, but
arranged it itself.
Bex liked it. She had a few drinks, and Kush came along to guide her.
Kush still hasn't yet worked at the door of E20 since the opening night, has he?
I think that sort of fell out.
I mean, we know that he was doing it to raise money for him and Denise to go away to Dubai, wasn't it? To like kind of.
Yeah, he's probably given that up now and then.
Yeah, fly the nest. But
Martin could have had that as his second job instead of the fish shop.
Yeah, but he could get the job easily from Ian, couldn't he?
Ian's not even there.
Oh yeah, how did he
send
get
him
the
a text?
job? With Kathy then, he had to speak to Kathy.
Oh, I wanted to see that scene.
Oh, that would be nice.
Kath.
That job that's open at the chip shop. I mean, Martin's making an honest living. I don't know why everyone's making fun of him for having a second job at the fish and chip shop, especially Kush, who had a second job at one point.
It reminds me of The Simpsons when Homer takes lots of jobs to pay for
Lisa's horse.
Well, that's what Martin's doing at the moment. Martin's going to sleep. Oh, veg time. Sleep at 1 o'clock. Oh, fish and chips. Yeah, very busy. But yeah, it kind of just randomly ended the storyline this week. It didn't really have an end.
I think
she was just drunk in
isn't it?
She was just drunk in E20.
Well, she was carrying those pills around everywhere with her.
Oh yeah, Kush found the pills.
Well, they fell out of her bag,
and automatically she just looked shocked. So she could have explained them away.
She could have explained it away easily.
Oh, that's paracetamol, Kush.
Yeah. None of your business, Kush.
Yeah,
There's another
that's
thing she
vitamin
could say.
C.
Yeah.
It's like,
But,
that's pro
although
plus.
vitamin C would be a bit dodgy, because isn't your father a fruit and veg man? No, I need the extra vitamin C.
So yeah, she looked like guilty straight away, and she still has a thing for Kush.
Well, yes,
Which everyone seems to have a thing for Kush.
Well,
not just her.
Yeah, well, no, because there was a thing with her and Kat, him and Kat, wasn't there? This
and
week?
Ikra a few weeks ago with the wine over his shirt.
Would
Loads
you
of
say?
them.
I wouldn't say he was. He's a good-looking lad. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say he was the best on the square.
The best in Wolford.
Yeah, best in show.
We'll find out at the Soap Awards, won't we? Sexiest male.
They're not doing well when we do
are,
our sexiest male.
Yes. We'll find out.
Oh, we have to get our nominations up for that soon. Are we going to do sexiest female as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to upset people.
We'll do most beautiful male, most beautiful female, so it's not
That's
tacky.
Nice. Most intelligent, most beautiful minded.
No, most physically attractive, not sexiest, because that's
most
tacky.
Physically attractive, but with a beautiful mind male. There you go.
And female.
There you go. That's the category. Look forward to
There's
that.
no restrictions of age or anything.
Well, that's a dodgy ground to be stepping onto.
I mean old, not a young.
I was going to say, yeah, if they're under 18, I think we should...
No. I meant old, as in Big Mo, or Dot.
Oh, no, Big Mo's of Sir.
Yeah.
She's going on the list.
So wireframe bras. Right, next up we have a split story. So we've got like the Keegan, Bakers, the Foxes all mixed up. So we're going to do like the salon bit first.
Yes.
Because Fox and Hair has opened.
I was quite impressed with that name.
Quite clever.
I liked it. Yeah.
Don't know if we guessed that last week. Can't remember. We said quite a few. So
there were so many names spouting out. And by the way, thank you to everyone who messaged us with their names too. We had about 2 or 3 come our way.
I haven't got them written down, so sorry.
We apologise for that. But they were really funny and they were great, so thank you for sharing them with us.
So yeah, the £6,000 really stretching.
I mean, I just don't know. There is no recession in this story, is there? £6,000 is bought.
They've hired like 5 models as well, just to stand around. Outside.
Well, there was a neon light on the wall.
Lights.
I looked that up. They're about £2,000. That's the budget. That's a third of the budget blown.
They're paying for Chantel, that one stylist in the whole place apparently, even though there's like 4 stations.
Yes, but Kim is gaining a qualification slowly through her online course of reflexology.
This is stupid as well. It's really annoying. Also, where's Kim's baby? She had a baby at Christmas.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was thinking that as well.
I mean, you can
both her children to be fair.
Yeah, but you can claim Pearl is like at
preschool,
whatever. But this baby's like 4 months old. Well, see, I can't remember his name. Is it Ika or something?
No.
Ika? I can't remember. Inoa? That's how random it is. It's like she's not had this baby.
Can you imagine if they write out the fact she had a child?
No.
Like, it's never explained.
They haven't even tried to explain it. Or said, like, there's a creche round the back, in the back of the salon or something.
Phil might be looking after it. He was the midwife after all.
He was, the Mitchell wife. So that's strange. But yeah, I don't like this reflexology. It's stupid.
Well, it was filler. That's what it was. It was just to pan out the story a little bit.
A lot of filler this week.
There was a bit. Well, that's what I mean, because this week was pretty much the Mitchell show, the Mitchell bash.
Even that, I can't really remember much of it.
Oh, I know. I remember a load. So leave it to me later on. Leave it to me. But yeah, so the grand opening has happened.
Yes, and no one turns up, do they? Even though they've got.
Well, no one turns up to begin with, apart from Rainey, who comes in for her free reflexology. She's got a real bad headache, and she needs
Carmel.
Yeah, she needs a head massage. But obviously Kim's failing because Kim has no idea what reflexology was to begin with. She Googled it by whispering it into her phone. What is reflexology? So she was offering a service that she didn't know.
It's very illegal.
Well, it is illegal because you have to have a qualification in it.
So it's just stupid.
Because I think if you do one thing wrong, you could not paralyse someone, but probably seriously hurt someone.
And why did Chantel not have any customers? That's weird.
Yeah, I thought that was odd because that was the whole premise of Denise's push, wasn't it?
Meant to be so good.
Yeah, and Mitch.
Yeah.
But when Mitch
he was just standing around.
Well, he was there for the beginning when he was laughing at Kim for trying to organise the reflexology, and then vanished and gone.
Busy out back doing some clipping, maybe behind.
Well, he's got his own. I suppose he's got his own section, hasn't he?
Explain that away, but yeah, again, it was like a nothing story. Like it didn't really end. This has been my thing this week, I think. Is they're trying. I know I wanted them to do more. I like them doing more.
Yeah.
But it feels like
there's no purpose.
Not that there's no purpose, but like they've got all these ideas. They're doing them all, and then they go, "Oh, we've run out of time," and then it just sort of like doesn't round up the week's story. Don't ever conclude.
They're almost throwing ideas at the wall, and whatever sticks, they kind of stick.
It's like they haven't got the
with.
pacing right yet. Like maybe Kate Oates and Johnson haven't quite worked out the 4 half-hour slot pacing of a story.
They're
or
used to Kate Oates is used to a 6 episode.
Yeah, that's
format.
what I mean. I don't want that. God no.
No. Let's just say
that's what it feels like. It feels like a bit like they've got all this and then suddenly they're out of time, so it just stops. Because there's no real end to this salon. Like, not an end to a story, but at the end of a week, it tends to round up slightly towards the end. Like, there's a conclusion to a problem. But there doesn't seem like the Beck's one didn't really end. She was just drunk looking at Kush.
No, I know what you're saying.
This one, like, it doesn't really end. What, they get a few customers in the end.
Yeah, and Denise looks a bit more relieved that they've got some customers in the salon.
They should have used Gray as a model. That's my suggestion.
Well, Gray was doing a stellar job going around handing out flyers.
Yeah, he's a nice man.
He's a nice man. I know. It just feels weird that someone's nice on the show. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't used to...
Well dressed.
Well dressed, well qualified, educated.
Nice face.
Yeah. Doesn't have any... Even when people are being a bit dodgy around him, he's not dodgy in return. He's just quite straight with them. Oh, I'm a married guy. I'm happily married. Thanks. And then hands out flyers. And Chantal... And also...
Chantel's normal.
Chantel's normal
too.
Like,
slap Mel. Yeah, be like, how dare you say my husband?
Yeah.
She just looked shocked like all of us.
Well, she looked almost joking. She laughed. It was like, oh, haha.
No, I like Chantel and Gray. They're
normal. So do I.
And they've been integrated like really well into like the cast. Unlike Ikra and Habiba, who have fallen off the face of the earth.
The question is, where are they?
So...
Although their uncle and aunt is on their way back.
It
was announced this week that they're returning.
Finally.
Arshad and Miriam.
Yes.
So hopefully then...
Although Ted was announced back and he's disappeared. So I wouldn't hold your hope.
I know, that is really odd, the thing they've done with Ted.
It's probably in his contract, but he had to do one episode within that so many months to keep him on probably.
But again, going back on what you just said about them not finishing anything, what happened with that conversation with him and Bernie? We just don't know.
Delete scene, just wait for the DVD. The extended edition.
The extra scenes from the weeks when they didn't finish the story.
But it's really hard to like sum it up because there's nothing really. Yeah. They got a few customers, and I guess it's not a total flop, but it was kind of a flop. But
Denise was a bit worried that it would be. Yeah.
Also, Chelsea used to be working a salon. She should have got her over.
Her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I didn't like Chelsea when she was first in it.
Nor do I, but she would have been a hairdresser.
I did like Denise's like powerful music when they were
sound like Star Wars.
Yeah. She was like, what is this? And they had a proper DJ there and he just played one record.
And her hair looks better than ever, so that's good.
Denise's?
Yeah, so obviously Chantel's doing it.
She has a salon, doesn't she? She can get it for free.
So that's a good
That's the benefit,
point.
The perks.
But yeah, Patrick wasn't there. He was in Trinidad. He wasn't even there for his big opening of his empire.
He don't care, does he? He's giving the money away. He sold his records, which were precious to him at one point.
His name's not in the title of the salon, is it? Truman?
No.
She should have called it Truman Cuts.
No.
True Cuts.
True Cuts? What TRU Cuts?
Mitch's little one should be called.
Yeah, you think they'd give it a separate name as well, like Fox and Hair
and Truman Cuts.
And Truman Cuts, yeah, or True Cuts.
There you go, that's for next week for half a story.
Well, I'm sure that will be a story that they're arguing over the name or something like that. I mean, just to quickly bring up on your point of them not finishing stories, it might be because this is Easter weekend as well, so they're thinking that they can carry it on from the Easter weekend.
No, that's not good enough, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm just trying to help them. I like being nice to the writers of the BBC.
The other half of this storyline was like the Keegan and Bailey and Dina storyline where
this was nice actually. This was a nice story.
Doesn't seem, and this didn't have like enough time on it, I don't think.
No, funnily enough. They spent all the time on the Kim and Denise story.
Beck's.
And the story where they really need to develop, they didn't really spend any time on.
Doesn't have enough time to breathe. Because the scenes that they have with because Dina's obviously getting sicker, she fell asleep and there's a frying pan on or something. And then Keegan sort of takes it upon himself to be there for Bailey and help, and he comes over with the giant pizza. Yeah.
Oh, we found out where they sold that, by the way.
Oh, where?
Costco.
Oh, I don't go there.
Well, you need to be a member. There's one just down the road.
It's not allowed.
Well, I'd go there for that giant pizza.
I know, it was huge.
I don't
know
how
how's Keegan got there.
True. You need to be a trade to get a card for Costco, I believe.
Maybe she used Mitch's barber trade.
We saw Sticks this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
He passed through.
That's boring.
Well, Sharon gave him a mouthful.
We're not talking about them there, though.
I know.
Talking about the Mitchells.
The Mitchells are in it so much, it's hard not to talk about them.
Basically, we just had like a few scenes of Keegan showing his caring side, so more character development for him.
Yeah, he's obviously in therapy, and we're led to believe he's had a few sessions now, and he's become a much softer character. Do you reckon he's going to become maybe studying social work or something? I was wondering.
I hope he studies something. Although I don't want another study storyline.
No, you don't have to, but it's nice to have a kind of social... Carmel in the classic EastEnders at the moment, it's quite interesting to have a social worker on the square so they can kind of dish out advice without
what
it being...
What could happen is he could start doing that, and then Lofty could come visit Sharon for some reason, and he could give him some advice, because that's how Lofty left. He went to be
He worked at a child's home, wasn't it? Before he...
There you go. There's a way in for Lofty. He could get with Karen.
Oh no, that'd be an awful mix. Who could Lofty get with? Who's in the...
Sharon? No, not Sharon.
No, oh no. Although Sharon could...
Tracy, the barmaid.
Sharon could flirt with Lofty when so to make Keanu jealous. That'd be a good idea.
There's no one really in Lofty's age range, is there?
I still think there should be a storyline that Lofty's long lost son is Callum. That you find out that it was Callum all along.
Because they are very similar.
Really, yeah.
So he just had nice scenes with them, and he's obviously caring for Bailey. Bailey's struggling, but she's got a big brother now.
And Dina asks, are people concerned about me or Bailey? And Keegan quite sweetly said, well, it's both of you, because we're worried that Bailey is... So, he could have lied and said, oh no, it was you, Dina. Or could be really nasty and said, no, Bailey, you can just go off and die. We don't care. But no, he's really quite considerate. I like this Keegan. I like this caring Keegan.
Big change from when he was first.
Yeah, he's almost swapped with Keanu, hasn't he? Keanu, who used to be the very caring, considerate character in the family.
Now dresses in dark.
And now, he dresses like his idol, Phil, doesn't he?
Just imagine if he met Grant. Wonder what you think of Grant.
Yeah.
Fall in love, I think.
I've always wanted to be a Mitchell. There's Emma Gray.
One way or another. Right, so next up, we just got a little bit of a discussion about some very poignant storylines in classic EastEnders at the moment.
Yes, we're back with not a quick chat, a full feature about some stories that have just happened on classic EastEnders.
Two of our faves. So enjoy.
To this evening's episode of EastEnders.
Right, so we're doing some classic discussion now.
Because there's been some big stories.
I know, two big ones.
Yeah, these past 2 weeks.
Yes, we're in sort of July 88 for anyone listening.
And a lot of people said, like, oh, this is when it starts to go a little bit off the rails, not quite as good as it was. I'm loving 1988.
I know, those few weeks were really good that we've just seen. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Kathy, Bill and Wilmot Brown storyline. Not the 2017 one. No. The 88 one.
The rehashed one, which didn't go quite as well. Just to say, these are the classic episodes that you can find on the Drama Channel in the UK.
Right. So, yes, very good scenes. I was watching them and the episode ended. And you want to watch the next one straight away?
Yeah, I mean, this was the first time when we've been watching the classic EastEnders episodes, and I've wished it was like a streaming service we were watching it on, so that I could watch the next episode immediately, because it was so impactful the way it was broadcast was amazing too, because you saw the actual rape. Well, you didn't see the rape, but you saw the scenes leading to the rape.
Up to it, yeah.
And then the next day was the 2 episodes when Kathy has to basically face her fears and go to the police.
It was really, really good. And it was really good how they had showed Wilmot Brown slowly going a bit off the rails and a bit attached to her, and
he was becoming obsessed with her. I mean, through episodes, he was taking photographs of her when she was feeling a bit uncomfortable,
cutting them out of Kathy.
Yeah, cutting out anyone else who was in the picture. So just Kathy was there, and it was in his wallet. He was buying her drinks. He was buying her really expensive gifts, and everyone around Kathy did seem to see it, but Kathy
they all kept saying, "Oh, it's your boss, it's no big deal."
Yeah,
that's what happened.
It's a bit light-hearted. It's not that bad. But also, as you said, Wilmot Brown, you could see, was slowly coming off the rails. Like, the way he dressed was a lot more relaxed. His tie would not be quite so straight, so tight.
And his hair was like growing longer and a bit
messy. Yeah, it wasn't so neat, his hair. And he wouldn't wear his jacket. He wouldn't wear a full suit quite so often. He was getting a lot of hassle from moneylenders who wanted to buy his bar out, who we've now discovered are part of the firm. And,
so he's sort of like losing control, and he's quite a control freak because he's from like the army and stuff.
Yeah.
So I suppose that part of his character plays on it. But yeah, I mean, just the way the scenes were paced out, and they just went one from another. You didn't cut away like to the next morning or the next week. It stayed on that night. And when the police came round to do the interview, and they're being really sexist to Kathy.
Yeah. But they said outright to Arthur later when Kathy's in the kitchen that, a lot of women do this just so their old man keeps off their back. And it's like awful, isn't it? That their first assumption is that this is a lie.
But it was so good. Like the Fowlers were just on top form. Like Michelle was really good. Like she was likable, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, because she was defending her family.
Yeah, and Arthur was really good because he'd heard about it, so he went out and went to Den, and without saying anything, they sort of made a mutual agreement that they were going to get this sorted. And Den said, I'll sort it, Arthur.
Yeah.
And like Pauline was being really. It was just like a really good.
Well, they pulled ranks,
ensemble
didn't
cast,
they?
wasn't it?
Yeah, all the Fowlers pulled ranks and decided to help Kathy out the best that they can. But it was Michelle who ultimately wanted to get the police involved, and then because the police weren't being very helpful, it kind of backfired for Michelle, and she felt a little bit...
She's been very modern, wasn't she?
Yeah.
It was like a Ruby in the Vic episode, that was. Her little speech.
Yeah. She quite rightly said, it's like, really, you need to report this. And because Wilmot Brown had gone AWOL as well by this point, and then thought that Wilmot Brown had returned to his flat, switched on his light, but all he did was come in to grab a handful of change. I did like that he wanted to go out and get himself absolutely sloshed so he could like forget what had happened or kind of reinvent what had happened in his head. And he did it by just taking all the change from
all the pennies.
Yeah, like he was going to like one of those penny arcades on the end of a pier.
And we had the like police interview, which was like it was a bit like, remember when Michelle went for the abortion and they just stayed in the rooms like a single camera and the whole conversation just went. It was like that, wasn't it? It was really
like a
good.
Single shot. Yeah.
It's so good, classic EastEnders, the way it does that, because it's like you're sat on a chair like just watching.
Yeah. It's almost performed like a theatre play. So instead of it being technically that you can see one shot, you're actually just watching the full picture in one camera angle.
But also the dialogue as well. It's just so realistic, and they say things maybe they shouldn't, and you're never sure if it's they messed up their lines but they just carried on filming or it was actually written in. That's what they're really good at on the classic ones, and that police interview was one of the best things when she had to go through it. And then you saw it through Wilmot Brown's point of view.
Yes, because they find him and he returns and he sees his club burnt down.
Yeah.
And there's something about dubbing in EastEnders. When Wilmot Brown is being chased by Pete. No, it can't be Pete. It's Michelle. He's being chased by Michelle, and they dub him running up to the taxi, "Take me to the solicitors on this street, please." And he jumps into the
really
cab. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because he's like rushing out, like he's breathless, and then all of a sudden it just goes like, "Take me to Wolford's solicitors, 35 4B, please." And it was like done in like 2 seconds. It's really funny. So that was for some first dubbing.
Yeah, some nice early dubbing. They still haven't quite got used to this dubbing process, have they? The BBC.
But yeah, it's just amazing, and it really shows the difference between this storyline and the Ruby storyline, the way it's done and the way it's been portrayed. And it's so much better back then.
Well, they gave it the time in the short amount of time that it was being shown. I mean, obviously we'll get onto a story that happened straight after this story, which is the second big story. And so it kind of got pulled back a little bit, the Kathy's rape story from Wilmot Brown. But then it's starting to bubble up again now, and they're still mentioning bits and pieces, and it's nothing to do. It's a different story, to be fair, because of the way that Kathy had been attacked.
But the script and everything is so much better.
Yeah. But it's similar but different, and there was a lot of examples of the way it was made for Kathy's story that they could have pulled for the Ruby story that would have made Ruby's story maybe perhaps a bit more understandable and easier to kind of digest. Maybe
you can't really compare, because one was amazing, like so well done, and the other was just went out flat.
But this is what I mean, but they put a lot of time to let the story nurture the story with Kathy, but with Ruby,
you can tell it was pre-planned, unlike the Ruby one, which she was just thrown into the square, and that's going to happen. And like you said, there's another storyline where we said goodbye to one of our favourite ever characters ever.
I know, Louise or Lou, but not Louise that we know her today. Young Lou Bill.
No, her name's Lou.
Yes,
Lou,
sorry.
known to friends.
Yeah. Well, apart from her sister, she will always be
Aunt
Louisa.
Ida, I think her name was.
No,
Flo.
Is it Flo?
Yeah,
never call her Lou. No one can call her Lou.
But yeah, so she had like a whole week.
I've just realised Lou and Flo. That can't be a coincidence.
Toilet issues.
Yeah.
She had like a whole week dedicated to her for her exit. 2 whole episodes, which was pretty much full on Lou Bill. She was going around. She came back early from her holiday because she knew her time was up.
Yeah.
And she wanted to not leave anything behind. So she wanted to sort out all her feuds, all her arguments, all her family. And again, just amazing writing throughout of Lou Bill. She hasn't changed much since she's been in it. She's still an old battle axe.
Yeah, she can't change her spots, that's for sure.
But like one by one, she went to each character and had her out with it.
Well, she demanded one by one they visit her, and Ian Beale
That's what
had
I love
the
about
checklist.
Lou. How she can just say, "Oh, I want these people to come see me, and make it happen," and everyone does it. Like even Pat, who hates her, does it.
Well, Lou went to Pat because Pat was a bit resilient
That's
against
true.
it. So Lou had her last Guinness, her last ever drink.
She did,
and she went up to visit Pat, and even they let bygones be bygones. That's just all under the bridge now.
Such a great character, Lou. Every scene she was in, she was just amazing. She was handing out all her advice and all her things. Shame they didn't mention Mark.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at this point, tragically, the actor who played Mark.
Yeah, very recently I think he took his life, within the past few months of this airing.
Yeah, and so I think, again, quite deliberate that it wasn't really mentioned at all. Mark wasn't even mentioned.
No, I think she said to Arthur, "Your boy's a bad boy." Like, that's the only thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't a direct,
but no.
yeah. But yeah, she handed out some gifts. Kenny couldn't come back from Australia, although his daughter's back, so obviously her little stint of the UK
didn't
last long.
No.
She didn't get to get under the covers with her cousins, so instead she decided to go back to New Zealand. I shouldn't say Australia, New Zealand.
It was such a fantastic exit for her because she came back, she knew what she wanted to do. There wasn't anything sort of missing. There wasn't a character she missed or a storyline untied.
Well, yeah, any characters that were linked to her in one way or another. Because although Lou was very well known on the square, she didn't really interact with many characters because, especially near the end of her time, she didn't really leave the house very often. So it would be very much immediate family who would really interact with her. Neymar didn't get a mention, and they were very
Neymar's
close.
Gone.
Oh,
she's off.
Yeah, but they were very close.
No, she's off the list.
If Kathy and Pete can afford a phone call to New Zealand, surely they can afford one more to India or Bangladesh.
That speaking of that was during the funeral when Kathy was like phoning round. That thing you have to do when someone dies in the family, you have to phone round and tell people.
That thing.
Like that was really well scripted as well. That phone call, it was so realistic. And it just stays on her, and
maybe you can imagine the other end of the conversation. Like you didn't see Kenny talking, but you filled in the gaps in your mind yourself. Yeah, it was
so
very
well
good.
done.
Yeah,
and also we saw the first change, which we talked about before in Pauline Fowler's First to Last.
Yes,
where Lou's soul has sort of gone into Pauline all of a sudden.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? It's like been vapoured into while Pauline was having her last cigarette around Lou.
So yeah, she's changed character slightly all of a sudden overnight. She's a bit more headstrong.
Yes.
Obviously, she knows that she's now the head of the family, so it's her.
Although Pete did say he was the head of the family, but we all knew that wasn't true. That wasn't true. It was a nice service as well, as they reminded Duncan. Sharon was in the back of the church. Didn't want to be seen. Didn't want to make a scene.
Yeah, that was really weird. They filmed it separately, and they just showed Sharon's head
nodding
in the darkness somewhere. It was really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, very sad to see Lou go because she was one of my favourites. She had so much more left in her.
It was sad also that they couldn't really have Ethel involved very much.
I know. She's given her a letter, and I think that letter has like a revelation in it, but we won't be talking about that until it happens.
Oh, this is news to me.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Yeah. They have their secrets, don't they? They're friends.
Dot can't wear... It's funny, Dot took a lot of clothing from... Lou, and the day Lou died, she instantly was like, I can't wear this now.
No, I've not washed it.
Yeah. And Wixie can't sleep in a dead woman's bed.
No, I don't blame him.
Brings back ghosts.
Weird.
Yeah.
She died in the bed. So
that's true. I never thought of it in that respect. I suppose that is a bit spooky. They had a few drinks in the Vic afterwards as well, and they started a sing-along. And, the old East End way.
Oh, yeah, that's disrespectful. But Pauline said, nope, let them.
It was Pat and Frank's idea to do it, and they're just as EastEnders Lou and Ian and Pete and Pauline are.
Exactly.
Arthur had ideals for her house as well.
No, that made me laugh.
He had designs for change.
The second she was dead, he was like, right, we can re-wallpaper now and
get rid of the fireplace, have central heating fixed in.
He's doing the bathroom upstairs at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he's regrouting the bathroom. I mean, Arthur's got a lot of time on his hands. But that was as you said, you saw the little bit of Lou in Pauline. She started saying, well, you need to go off now and get a job. But that scene, we haven't really spoken, but the final scene for Lou, when she sat at the table and all the family are sat around her, and you see the shot when they're all looking at the camera through Lou's eyes, and they're all looking at Lou, and one by one, she basically says it straight, says exactly what she thinks of them. She says Kathy and Pete need to have another kid. It's the only way to stick them together.
She shouldn't get ideas above her station.
Yes, Kathy should be at home.
She's best when she's regular.
Yes. And
I mean, at the most part, Lou's like predictions or advice were quite spot on.
They were.
Like 80%. Right?
Well, Ian's now going forth with his advice, and he's using his MVQ in catering. And Pauline is now becoming the matriarch.
She said to Michelle, "Watch out, you're going to become an old spinster soon if you're not careful."
Yes,
that's what's happened to her.
Yeah, when she came back 2-3 years ago, that's exactly what she became.
It was really nice that she said to Arthur that I do actually like you as well.
Yeah,
that was sweet. But she says, you're jobless, typical, and that sort of runs throughout the rest of his time on Earth as well.
Yeah,
so she was quite spot on.
Yeah, she said to Arthur that basically he needs to pull up his socks, but she's only ever done or said anything to him out of love.
And I think, didn't she say to Pat something like, "Frank's your one true love"?
Yes,
as well. So yeah, she's got it, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She had them all sussed.
Exactly, because we said that when she said that line, that ultimately that was Pat's love when there was the whole fight between her and Peggy, and
good old Lou.
Lou knew the future of the soap.
Such a shame she left.
I mean, she did come back for a special Christmas episode. I can't remember the year exactly off the top of my head. But she came back and just did one piece to camera. She was the ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh, yeah.
And she said a line in her chair in her old house. I can't remember, but it was a special Christmas episode.
Yeah, we watched it recently, didn't we?
When Shane Ritchie was singing
the party.
a lot. That was devastating.
Yeah. And she later on said it was a bit, maybe I shouldn't have left so soon.
That's the actress.
She did admit. So it's such a shame because she could have been in there right up to 2014-ish, I think. So
I think she would have been a bit like Ethel, though. She would have slowly been pulled away in the plot a little bit, but
poor Lou. But yeah, very good few weeks on Classic EastEnders.
And we had to talk about it. We made it our feature this week.
We did. Lou, Bill and Kathy.
What more can you ask for?
There you go. So that was our classic roundup for July-ish 1988.
For now, this is Malcolm Einan wishing you a very good night on behalf of everybody here at the Television Centre.
Right, on to the Big Mitchell stories.
Yes, well, take a big intake of breath, everyone, and breathe out. Because this is a long story. There's lots of things that happen with the Mitchells this week. So
I don't like much of it, though, so watch out.
Okay, well, to be fair, I didn't like it, but then
there's bits of it I don't like.
Looking back on it, I'm actually more infused by it than I was when I first watched it.
There's been lots of backlash with Ben.
To say that is
I've noticed
a little
like
bit of it.
Lots of people have been making articles like saying, no, you should like Ben and this is why, which is like, to me, when that comes up, it's like alarm bells, like everyone knows it's not working and they're trying to like force tell us it is working. Like, you don't normally see articles, like there's been lots of articles from all different people popping up saying, this is why Ben's like this and this is why you should like it, or this is why it's Ben like this and this is why you should give it a chance. And it's like, when have we ever seen that recently? Like, them trying to defend this weird decision. Well,
first of all, I would say that it's nice that people are paying attention to EastEnders again, so they have this...
Ratings are down.
Are they?
Yeah, they're down 4 million.
Well, they're down to 4 million?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's not been doing very well.
That really surprises me.
Yeah, I know.
Well, was there a bit of a hike at the beginning when they...
No.
Oh, well then, it's not that they've gone down, they've just remained...
Well, they are lower than they were, like, last year, I think.
Yeah, but then we didn't have the full Sharon dinner this year, did we?
I know, I was really disappointed with the Mitchell lunch.
No, I know, it wasn't anywhere near what it was
I
last
rewatched
year.
the Mitchell lunch just now, actually. Last year. The cream and Hunter's wants pudding.
Oh, it was just, it was just amazing when Sharon gets drunk.
Michelle's
drunk. Still there.
Yeah,
I know, you think that it's been longer than a year, but it really hasn't been. I mean, okay, I didn't know that the rating's gone down, but to me... Personally, yes, I had a problem with Ben. Last week, I think I agreed with you quite heavily when you were having a bit of a rant about Ben.
Week.
But this week, I'm kind of liking it again. I like that he's this.
Have you read these articles? I haven't. I've not bothered reading them.
Well, one article I have written, I hadn't written at all. One article I have read was written by a guy who I very much have a lot of time for, so I like reading what he's written, and it's Duncan Lindsay from the Metro.
Oh yes,
And
Soap King.
He is the Soap King, and whenever an article pops out from him, he gives birth to an article. I really do. I love to read them, and his opinion is that he thinks that we need to give more time to this Ben character.
I've seen these headlines
with soaps that, and he quite rightly says that with soaps you need to. There's a longevity to it, so you need to see that this is him coming in with a bang, and then over time, the other traits from Ben will slowly seep out. And
if he's a new character, I understand that, but
then
legacy character like Ben, you don't need to do that because you've seen him from birth.
But he's established that, but Duncan Lindsay says that with characters they've introduced recently, like Ray Kelly or Aidan, like there was no background information to them, so you're just expected to think, oh, they're bad people, they've done this bad thing, so we need to see them as a villain, and so there's no attachment rate to them. Well, with Ben, we've gone on the roller coaster with Ben's life, where he, did that to Heather, he killed Heather, but then he got softened a little bit by Paul, but before that he was quite dismissive also with his father, who wouldn't embrace his sexuality, and Phil has always seemed to favour Jay over his own son, and also he thought his mum was dead, and then he finds out his mum's not died.
Yeah,
Kathy had a storyline. And so you kind of understand that you've been on board with Ben through all this, and if Ben, when he did run away the last time, he's obviously had a few months to kind of swell on it and stew and feel a bit of anger and resentment toward his family, because it's not just Ben. I don't think. I think it's a little bit also toward Kathy and a bit toward Jay as well. And he doesn't really seem to want to affiliate himself with anyone in a kind of friendship way. He just wants to go in there, cause a stir, and leave again. And so this is why I kind of agree with now the way that Ben's being portrayed on screen, because that's what Ben is doing. He's kind of gone in just to throw a cat amongst the pigeons, and then stand back and watch the carnage fall out around him.
But that doesn't give you longevity. It's like him coming in like that. This total turnaround of character, because when he left, he was kind of like at peace with his family, and he was just like, okay, I'm going to go and find my new life or whatever abroad. That's what was Ben's mentality. He then comes back about a year later with a new actor, so you're already disconnected with him automatically through that. But if they wanted this, it's this longevity character who you have a care about, but there hasn't been scenes yet with Max, the new actor Max, that Harry Reid probably couldn't have done, I don't think.
That's a question though. Is it if Harry Reid had returned as Ben, would you still have the same
You'd have more
him?
Well, if they're going in, they're saying they're doing this because you have this attachment to him.
Yeah.
Why did they feel the need to recast if they wanted you to have an attachment to a character straight away?
I don't think it's that. I think they wanted you to see him remember his past, but see him also as fresh and new, almost as a clean slate, but not, if that makes any kind of sense. What's it? Yeah, clean slater. You see what I mean though? So they wanted you to remember his past, remember that he's had this.
Yeah, but they haven't been showing that in his character, because his character's come in and he has got no nuance. He's pure villain. Like, you haven't seen it, like the way he talked to you and is like, I killed someone, I'll kill your mum. And then he says to Danny, I might kill your mum. It's like threatening to kill people just out of nowhere. Like, there's just no nuance with this Ben. He's just pure villain. So them saying, oh no, give it a chance because there's this and that. It's like, well, they haven't shown any of that to us.
I don't think they're saying give it a chance. I'm just saying just remember his past. Remember what happened to him in the past. And this may explain why.
Yeah, but we had all his past when Harry Reid took over. He had the thing about Heather and his anger issues. And we've seen him go through that already. So it seems like that 4 years has just been taken out and he's now bad. Like, what's happened in 12 months to make him hate Phil all this, and what's happened? He has not seen Lola for like 5 years, but now he has this weird hold on her. Which, even though we know her secret, air quotes, it still doesn't make sense that he'd have a hold on her, because he's been in Portugal, she's been in Manchester for 5 years.
I mean, he's been away. We don't know what he did when he was away. That's still not really been explained. So that could also bring up, some more information about him.
Yeah.
We know that he sees his father as weak. We know he sees Phil as weak because Phil couldn't even organise or look after his businesses outside of the UK and Spain. He wasn't able to stand up against these garages that, you know, have basically belittled him and crumbled him to nothing. That's why Phil is now this weak, nothing character, although still seen by...
What they're trying to do is make us feel for
well, still
Phil.
still seen by Kenny as like the kingpin of the Mitchell family, and Ben doesn't want that to happen. He wants himself to be seen as the kingpin. So he almost wants to retire Phil. He almost wants to maliciously, as you say, make Phil knock down a few pegs. And I mean,
But
I don't
also
think
Phil's
we could ever feel
already-
sorry for Phil, though. I don't think we'll ever.
That's what they're trying to do.
No, I
though.
don't think-
That's why they're writing Ben like this.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to work.
Have you not noticed Phil's been written like really like nice family guy? Like he's been really nice to Sharon, and he's not. He's been really nice to
Yeah,
everyone.
but not with
That's
Louise,
on
his own
purpose.
daughter. Like, he's obsessed with looking after Louise the whole time. But when Keanu says things like, "Oh, you know, this is going to go a bit too far," then feels like, "I don't care. Do what you need to do. You know, just get on with it."
The other issue with Ben is the fact that he keeps threatening to kill people all the time is silly. Is also the fact that he's involved in human trafficking as well, and people keep trying to write that off like, oh, he's done bad things in the past. It's like human trafficking is on like such another level.
Yeah, but
It's like you know,
disgraceful.
back in like the 80s when they had Dirty Den and they said he wasn't a villain, he was like a lovable rogue who he never crossed like a certain line, so they said you can still enjoy Dent as a character and support him.
Yeah.
But he's almost on that line. It's the same with Phil, like they never have Phil kill anyone, do they? Like all the time they hear,
Well, yeah, but that's
oh no, he's not killed that
yeah.
person, or Aidan killed him but Phil didn't know, or Dennis Rickman got killed because of Phil but not Phil didn't know
he
that was
didn't
happening.
do the act himself.
But Ben outright knows this is human trafficking of young girls. So they can't exactly expect you to be like, oh, that's fine, Ben Mitchell's got burnt by a teaspoon when he was 12, so this is why he's like...
No.
And it really
but then the
puts,
psychological problems could stem from something as simple as that, you know, because he did it to his own
yeah, but
sister
if they want
as
us
well.
to care for this character and they want him to be long term, they can't
Yeah.
have a character doing human trafficking. It's that thing.
Yeah, but
like,
human trafficking
it's like
isn't-
when Ronnie
Yeah.
killed that guy in a car. People
Yeah.
for like 5 years later said she needs her comeuppance. Ronnie needs her comeuppance. And the shame is when it revealed about Lucy Bill's death and Jane was involved. That tainted Jane's character, and everyone said she needs to be punished. She can't, and that's why her character's been sort of missed. Like she's just disappeared and she can't really come back.
Yeah.
It's the same with Ben being involved in human trafficking. It gives that character a shelf life.
Yeah, you're right. Human trafficking, I suppose, in a lesser extent, is a form of torture toward these young girls. Human trafficking
And
'cause they-
rape.
Well, yes, I
And they're
agree.
underage.
Oh, well, we don't know their age.
Yeah, but they're young.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they were under.
But they're obviously the same sort of age as Louise.
Yeah. But Ben has already killed. Don't forget.
Yeah,
So-
but he didn't go to Heather and plan a murder and murder her.
But it was
like
there
a
was
built-up anger on that night.
Yeah,
and
but there
it
was aggression, and so he
Yeah.
physically hit Heather so she would fall and be fatal.
but he
So-
didn't.
Yeah,
go,
but
it
he
wasn't-
has. That's the point.
Yeah, but he's gone in knowing this is human trafficking. He's not done. He's not like Keanu. He turned up and thought it was like a box of iPads, and then he found out it was human trafficking.
Yeah.
Ben knew and planned it around that this is what it is.
Mm.
Like the murder with Heather wasn't premeditated. It was his anger issues, and something had been said, and something suddenly happened, and then the second he hit her, he did regret it.
Yeah.
Whereas this is that he premeditated. Like he knows this is that, this is this. So that's the trouble with Ben, is what they're doing.
Okay.
It puts a shelf life on him, and you don't want that on a character like Ben because he's like a legacy character.
But it has also built the Mitchells up to be a much more notable, which is what Kate Oates did say initially she wanted to do.
Yeah,
So
has it?
Well, it's made them the forefront family of,
Yeah, but not
on
for
the,
good
on the
reason.
show. I know what you're saying.
And
But
Lola as well. I don't know what her involvement is.
Lola,
She's
I've
pointless.
got very little time for, I must admit. And again, not many people seem to defend Lola in any stretch. But
Because we
then-
met her fiance,
Yeah.
and like they had like a scene with Honey where they keep like 1 minute Honey's in the minute mark, like she can't pronounce words, and then the next minute she's this really like intelligent, caring side when she's with Lola.
Oh,
And
well,
it's like-
this is when Lola
It's
had
talking-
been rejected. This is when Lola had been rejected by Jay.
that was weird. Like all of a sudden she's like, we're meant to be with I love you so
Well,
much.
just say one word and I'll dump you in.
But if not, I'll stay with you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, why are we meant to care about
yeah.
this? It's so stupid. It's like Jay's moved on. Like, his character's developed, and her character is still the same character from 5 years ago.
I mean, no one wants Jay and Lola together either.
No.
It's just, this is what I mean. So the whole purpose of Lola being here, which was to... But again, what was Lola's purpose to be there?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean...
I don't know what she could be in this plan to bring down Phil, because Phil hasn't got anything.
Because it would have made sense if Lola's plan, or the plan with Lola and Ben, was that Lola was going to bring Jay in, because then Jay could be manipulated and moulded away from Phil through Lola, but indirectly with Ben pulling the strings. But Ben at no point wanted Lola to do this. For
Lola
and
doesn't
Jay
want her
to
to do
this.
anything, though. Like, anything she does, he's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
What's the point of her? Is it just for numbers, or because Lexi's there? Maybe he thinks Grandad Phil would be a bit softer if his granddaughter's there, maybe.
Yeah, but he has become softer when Lexi's is there. He gets quite...
But then again, with Ben has such a hold over Lola, he could just say, I'm taking Lexi. Apparently, somehow. I don't know how he's got this weird hold on her.
I don't know.
It's just weird, isn't it?
It is very odd. It's very odd.
That Ewan guy, like, apparently is a nice guy. Like, Honey
he was a
asked
nice
him.
guy. He looked genuinely crushed when he thought that Lola was... And he even knew... You know, Lola said she spoke to Ewan that evening before he came down from Newcastle about her and Jay. And so he knew. And again, Ben manipulated, as you said, gave quite nasty threats saying that, you know, if you don't leave... And just forget about Lola.
He'll kill his family.
He'll kill his he'll kill his not his stepmom, his foster parents.
But how does he know Ewan so deeply if he's been in Portugal and Spain for all this time?
Well, I'm presuming that's how when he met up with Lola, then Lola told him all this. So he must have.
A lot of stuff has happened in like 14 months.
Well, less than that, isn't it? It's not been.
I think it's
long.
about 14 months.
But so Ewan's been, you know, ushered back up north to Newcastle and just forgotten about. So
and he like came all the way down and he didn't even bother seeing Lola.
Well, no, because Ben manipulated it so they couldn't meet. Because Lola eventually, once she had that talk with Honey,
and she looked out the window and saw him, all right.
Well, yeah, but that was before her and Jay had the conversation. And then when her and Jay had the conversation and Jay rejected her, and then she got over it, and she decided, yes, I do want to be with Ewan. Yeah, exactly. She did want to go with Ewan because he was the second option and he's the only option now to her. She phoned Ben and said, I'm going to meet you back at Kathy's or Ian's house. And then Ben quickly got him then to go to the cafe, saying that's where they were going to meet. Yeah. So he manipulated the situation so that Lola and Ewan couldn't meet. So this is what I mean. Ben, human trafficking aside, he's quite conniving, clever and tricky. And isn't that what you want from a character? An interesting, intricate kind of...
Yeah, but... It's all characters that I don't care about. Like, I don't care that Lola suddenly Jay's her love of her life after dumping him by text 5 years ago to be with Dexter and then to be with Ewan. And then Ewan's a perfect man. Like, Honey asks her, is he this? Is he that? Has he done this? And she's like, no, he's great. He's this. He's there for me. He's that. He has a stable job. And then, we're meant to believe that Ben has loads of background information on this guy somehow?
Well, no, I don't think Ben does, though. All Ben knows is that...
He cares for his mum and he'll kill her.
Yeah, and that's all he needed to know. He's obviously come from a broken home, whether his real birth parents had died or something. So his one attachment to a family is his mother who adopted him. And so he's obviously, if you say it to your own mother, if you say to them, I will, if you don't listen to me, I will kill your mum and then kill you, you're going to pay attention. Yeah.
I just find it hard to, care about anything they're saying, really, because it's just all a bit I don't know, it's just characters who I've not seen for 5 years, so I don't really care that Ben is going to kill this random guy's mum. It's just stupid that he's just threatening to kill everyone. Like Danny's elderly mum in a care home, he's like, oh, if you're not careful, something might happen to her, he says to Danny in the cafe.
He's making a deal with Danny after Danny offered a deal with Phil and Phil refused it. Again, showing, I suppose, going back to what you said, it does make a point. Phil had principles because Danny had already threatened his family, Phil's family. Phil had said, well, I'm not going to do any more deals with Danny after this, so just leave it. And Ben's like, well, you're missing up an opportunity here. It's huge reward for something which you're unlikely to get in trouble for, which is selling classic cars or something like that. And but Ben kind of feels as though that he's just been passed off without any kind of consideration. And so there's that quite interesting scene in the cafe where Danny and Ben are talking to one another, and Danny says that, Phil is the name. Phil is the one who everyone wants to talk to, and you're just seen still as like the
No
smaller one. Yeah, the smaller one. And Ben insists that he wants to make a name for himself, but because Ben threatens. So this is what I mean. It's almost cause and effect. Ben's seeing what he's doing fall out around him, so he's kind of going in thinking he's the big I am, but from threatening Danny, he's now got Louise in trouble.
Thank God.
Yeah, and by threatening...
That's the one thing I like that Ben's done. Get Louise kidnapped.
Fair enough. And by threatening Keanu, but with the whole human trafficking, he's kind of put Keanu as in a situation where he could potentially ruin his plan too. Because when Phil mentions about the job to Keanu, Ben has to quickly step in and say, "Oh yeah, it all went fine." So he's now made an enemy in Keanu, which could potentially also be a problem. But then that could also fall back.
Also, if he wants to build, because he said last week he wants to build Phil up to be the best thing and then crush him down again, aka Max in 2017, to the square. But if he wants to build Phil up, why is he now going behind his back and wanting his name to be like Ben Mitchell name? Like, I thought he was meant to be making Phil get all this, but he's going behind Phil's back as well. It's just... But
again, if he can show that he can build someone up and then knock him down in one fell swoop...
He's not trying to build Phil up at all, because he's just going behind his back and doing all these things without Phil knowing.
That's true.
So I don't really get what...
Well, but he needs a plan B, though, doesn't he, I guess?
Well...
Or maybe
he quite a few plans.
Well, I was going to say maybe he did it on purpose, but knowing that Danny would be upset and so would want to try to kidnap Louise. He had this foresight, but no, I know that's not true now, because Ben was looking at his mobile phone, and when he said partners ? And he kept looking at his phone all day, didn't he? And you could see he was getting more and more upset that Danny wasn't replying to his text, asking him if he wants a crack.
Danny's got other things, because he's planning on kidnapping Louise.
Well, he's not planning.
As
he's
revenge.
Done. He's carried it out.
Basically, it's revenge on Ben for threatening his mum. So he's kidnapped like Ben's half sister, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Well, also, it's the Mitchell family, so it's attached to the Mitchell family. So again, this fallout is another piece that Ben thought he could manipulate and plan.
One of the worst kidnap scenes I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, it's a piece that Ben thought he could manipulate and plan, but didn't actually carry out the way he hoped it had. Again, so this worries him. So Ben, again, this
not
is
doing very well, is he?
No, he's not. So this shows a weakness in the character of Ben. So giving it time. Do you see what I mean?
No.
But no, the kidnap was a bit ridiculous.
A bit. It was really stupid.
Well, basically the whole day,
that guy, what's his name?
Midge was watching Louise, trying to find an opportunity. Found an opportunity once Beck's told Louise, quite rightly, that all Louise thinks about is Louise.
Oh, Louise was such horrible to
She's such
Beck,
a bitch to Bex. Every time they do anything together, it's like, oh, do you want to do something, Bex? Oh, that's
Don't talk about yourself. You've only met this random guy once.
Well, no, she said she was making it up. You're making it up, Bex.
Oh, shut up, Louise.
I know.
I'm so glad when she got kidnapped. I hope she's not seen for like a few weeks now.
Mm.
But she will be. She'll be back next
week.
Well,
the whole week will probably be the whole kidnap.
Yeah, but I don't want to see her. She's so annoying and so unlikable. So that's one good thing Ben's done. He's got rid of Louise for a bit.
Yeah, but not on purpose.
No, but still. There's a plus point in there somewhere.
I mean, we've talked about them quite a lot. I mean, lots of things happened with the Mitchells, as well as Sharon getting very jealous because Louise wanted to go on the contraceptive.
And I had such high hopes for the Easter meal, because last year was so good.
I know, and there was
Kathy
nothing.
was there this year. It was rubbish. There was a fish.
I mean...
Didn't fall, like no one threw it at anyone or anything.
No. Although there was a lot of jokes spinning around about cooking the fish.
That's true.
And a lot of people saying, ooh, that's disgusting.
Well, Dennis isn't doing anything Sharon asks him either. No. He's being all stubborn.
So Dennis, there's also progression with Dennis and Sharon's relationship still being a bit...
Not very strong.
Yeah, not being very strong at all. And we saw Styx again this week. I think I've mentioned that once already.
Yeah, I think that's because they're going to be like, that gang have kidnapped Louise, and it's going to be like they're going to be misdirected maybe, something like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
and it's not actually, but it's actually Midge, but maybe Sharon thinks it's Styx that's kidnapped Louise or something.
Goodness.
So
I don't think the Mitchell grip on the soap is going to go anytime soon. I mean, the Mitchells were the reason why the soap got so popular in the 90s. And I'm thinking that they're thinking that might happen again if they kind of build up the Mitchells. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems a bit messy. It doesn't seem like planned out very well. I don't know.
I mean, I
worry because she's had Ikra and Habiba who haven't been received well, and now Ben and Lola haven't been received well. So,
although Chantel and Gray,
Yeah, they've been lukewarm, so
Yeah.
it's good.
It's again though, it's attached
Yeah,
to
and they've come in as a normal family.
exactly. It's without the kind of sensationalism attached to them, and they're attached to the Taylors, which I don't know. Everything the Taylors touch turns to gold. Even Keanu in the Mitchells family seems to work. It's weird, isn't it? They should just build the soap around the Taylors. That's what we should do.
What's going wrong?
Get the Taylors in the Vic. That's going to be my new campaign.
Well, there you go. That's our thoughts on the Mitchells.
Yeah, there was a lot of thoughts there. I mean, if you guys have any opinions on it, we'd be really interested to know.
I'm sure you do.
No, definitely do. Get in touch with us on email, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. Give us your opinions and what you agree with us or disagree with any of us. We'd be really interested to hear your opinions, and we're probably going to read them out because it's likely there's going to be a long talk about the Mitchells next week too.
Oh yeah, there's going to be containers and all sorts, and shipyards. So next up we're doing a quick game, and it's yours this week.
It's that time of the show where we rumble through Martin's vegetable patch
Ooh.
and pluck out 5 of your
I'll have a rumble
recommended
through
daily
his,
allowance.
His veg.
His what, sorry?
I'll have a rumble through his veg.
Would you?
Yeah.
And find your 5 RDA. Yes, it's Martin Fowler's 5 a day, where I ask a question and it has multiple answers, but in 30 seconds, Ben must produce 5 of them.
Like my 5 veg in a day.
No fruit, though, because you're not the fruity
no.
type. So, just to give everyone a kind of picture of my creation this week, it's my birthday this week, and it's Easter this week. So I thought, let's think of a theme, an Easter theme. My birthday, maybe, a birthday theme. So I've come up with, can you name 5 company names that Ian Beale has had in his time of being on EastEnders?
What?
So, as you can see, it's very related, very similar.
That was a flop then.
It was a big time flop. Yeah, so nothing really came of my original plan. But so to reiterate the question, I am looking for you to name the names of Ian Beale's companies.
Right.
Okay, so we know what companies he has, for instance, the fruit and veg store, or when he has a fish and chip shop. But I want to know the names of these companies.
Okay.
The ones
difficult.
The ones he uses for Company's House for tax purposes. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
And you have 30 seconds. So if you are ready...
Can it be any, or does it have to be current?
Oh, no, it can be any. It can be ones that have since
bankrolled,
folded, yeah, or ones that he currently has. It can be anything at all, as long as he's created them on the show.
Okay.
Not that he's had any offshore companies, but if he has, they don't count. And you're not allowed to say, as I say, you're not allowed to say generic, like fish and chip shop, because that's not the name of the fish and chip shop. So, are you ready?
Yes.
30 seconds. 5 companies created by Ian Beale, starting from now.
Okay, we've got Cafs or Cafes.
Cafes or Bridge Street Cafe. I would have accepted both, yeah.
Beale's Place for the fish and chip shop.
Beale's Place, yes, is one of the names for the fish and chip shop.
Yeah, we've got Walford East.
Walford East, yes, is one of the names he gave to the restaurant.
Yes, I can't remember what the restaurant was called before. It's really annoying me, but it was established 2011.
It's quite simple. You've got 5 seconds.
I know. Beale's, he had a supermarket, Beale's Deals, or what was it called? Mel works there.
Time's up.
What was it called, the supermarket?
It wasn't a supermarket. It was
like a 99p store.
Yeah, it was called Beale's Market.
Beale's Market, not Beale's Deals.
Yeah, you got 3. I was quite impressed, actually.
And what was Walford East called before?
So it had 2 other names. It was named Scarlett's when it first opened.
Yeah.
Because he was going to name it Ian Beale at Le Square, remember? But then Janine had to buy in some of the ownership.
So, okay, that's Janine's daughter.
Yep. And then it changed to Beale's. Simply Beale's.
Of course.
Which was the burger joint, the upper class burger
All
joint.
I remember is it said established 2011.
And they had to wear those uniforms, which was a printed on tie on a white t-shirt. Beale's Market, which we had. Beale's Place. He also had a mobile fish and chip van called Beale's on Wheels.
Oh, I should have said that.
And other catering ventures was the Meal Machine and Masala Queen.
Oh.
So he already had a company before he opened with...
Masood?
Yep, before he opened Walford East.
Oh,
and
how ridiculous.
One which I'm surprised you forgot was Lofdelian, which was his knitwear company. Way back in 1985
with Calvin
or
and
86 with Calvin and Lofty.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, see, I thought you'd get that straight away.
No, that don't count as a real company.
It was a company.
It failed.
It failed big
Or
time.
Sam, or Barry and Ian's DJ. Wonder what their name was.
There wasn't a name for them, so that's why I left them out. But he's got other companies as well which have no names. He once tried his hand in flat developing, like Jack.
Oh dear. And Lauren and Lucy.
Yeah, obviously the fruit and veg store. And he was a loan shark as well at one point. Yeah. One of those payday loan sharks.
Oh dear.
So there you go. So,
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, not too bad. As you said to me last week, that's average.
Yeah, I know.
Passable,
I'm
but average.
disappointed with myself that I forgot Beals.
Yeah, no, that was an obvious one, wasn't it? It's just his name. But,
and Bill's Deals is nearly Bills on Wheels.
Bill's Deals, Bills on Wheels, Bill's Place.
Yeah, oh well.
Oh well, you did well. Let us know how you got on by messaging us on Twitter at EastEndersWeek, on Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast, emailing us eastendersweekly@gmail.com, or visiting our Facebook page. And that was another edition of Martin Fowler's 5 a Day. I feel quite relaxed after that chat about Ben Mitchell. I think we've both had very opinions to throw at the microphone today.
More opinions now, because we're talking about Mel and Jack. You know, last year when they announced Kate Oates was coming back and everyone said, I want Janine back. Kate Oates will bring Janine back. She got a bit confused and she's just put Janine into Mel. She's reminded me of Janine this week, Mel is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Manipulating everyone.
Yeah, playing the strings, pulling the strings a little bit.
She's going for it with all the men, isn't she?
Well, yeah, she's using her one asset, I suppose you could say, and that's her sexual charm.
Yeah, she's giving me Janine vibes, the way she's just trying to go for it with Gray in front of his wife. She didn't even care when he said she was married. Oh, I like men like that. She's
also trying to get into the
Jack's polo necks,
but also into the property game while working with Jack, and that's what Janine used to do.
She's got cut and fills shares and all sorts
she's got fingers in many pies.
Yeah, she's really going for it, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, she's throwing windows...
Money orientated at the moment.
She's very money orientated. She's throwing bricks in through her own windows.
Yeah, and pretending it's someone else. That's a Janine thing to do.
It is a very Janine thing to do. I mean, it seemed a little obvious to me that she threw the brick in through a window, then hid the brick in a bin bag, and then put the brick back where she found it, which was just the wall outside her own house. Why didn't she just throw the brick through the window
and put the brick
then put the brick back? Because she didn't phone the police about it.
Just Jack.
So Jack doesn't need to... where's the brick? I don't know.
Jack is ex-police. He should have worked this out.
Well...
Investigation.
He was easily manipulated by the police when he was in the police force. So, you'd think that this would count toward the whole Mel and Jack story too.
But she was manipulating herself. She did it because she wanted... Because at the moment he's throwing her out of the flat. So she did this brick thing to get him over and talk to him in private. And he offers to stay the night because she doesn't feel safe.
Yes, and Rainey can see straight through this
Everyone
away.
Everyone can, even Tiff.
Yeah, and Tiff as well. Yeah, can see her game and see through it.
That's what's funny with this Mel storyline. Every time she tries an angle with someone, the person sees through it straight away. Because Kathy saw through it last week, and someone else last week as well. I can't remember who. And then this week, Rainey sees through her straight away and says no, and then Tiff sees through it straight away.
Yeah, solidifies that what Jack already thought.
And Gray saw through it straight away and said, "I'm married. I'm not interested." Everyone just sees straight through her.
Yeah,
one track mind.
Which is why she's not particularly like Janine, because Janine was able to carry out the manipulation much better.
The only one she did get what she wanted from was Phil. Her cut from Phil. Because she demanded it.
Yeah, but that's because she had something solid on Phil there, and something she could pass on to Sharon, because Sharon still doesn't know about Phil's money laundering.
Well, she also has the CCTV of Phil kissing her from last year. Remember that?
Oh yeah, but
that
was explained away because she's threatened him with that already, and Phil's like, "Go on, then do it." Yeah.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. Yeah.
She'd be so drunk she'd think it's her on CCTV.
I would spit on her if she was on fire.
So she wants to try and stay in the house with Jack. She wants a business thing with Jack as well. She has a lot of ideas for him.
She's earned £2,000. And what do you do when you earn £2,000?
Open a salon.
No, that's if you earn £6,000.
Oh, of course.
If you earn £2,000, you buy a neon sign. Oh no, I jest again. You sit in the cafe and you count it. £2,000. I mean, who does that really? I know she was doing
in the cafe, was she?
She was in the cafe, and she was doing it on purpose because she was waiting for she was waiting for Jack to walk in, and she had the money in her hand. She had been waiting for him to walk in, and was like, "Oh, 1,950, 1,950," and it was so ridiculous. And Jack was like, "Oh, that's a big wedge of money you've got there." And I was like, "Yeah, do you want to go in business?"
What business mad. Was she? Was it property business?
It was to go, in with Jack.
What would she do? £2,000, buy a sofa for one of the flats, maybe.
Maybe she could put her stylist tweak on things. She likes to
Well,
make
her green.
yeah,
Oh,
her,
that, yeah.
yeah, her avocado green.
Everything green.
She could buy bulk loads of green paint for £2,000 and just paint everything green.
They need a bit more money if they're going to have these grand ideas on this show.
I know, everyone seems to be able to do things for like a very small amount of money.
I'm going to create a property business with Jack with £2,000.
Well, I know I always bring this
It's like
up.
1 month's rent in the Wolford, probably.
But I remember a couple of years ago when Whitney was going to start a t-shirt empire with like £10 in her back pocket.
Open a shop.
Yeah, everyone just seems to be able to just think it's just easy just to start your own business or to go into partnership.
Well, if Fox and Hare's anything to go by, it is.
Of course.
It's a roving success.
But Jack sees through Mel quite quickly.
Well, he doesn't. The women do, and then tell
that's true.
Jack.
Well, that's because Jack thinks with his crotch. Let's be honest. That's Jack's brain.
Yeah.
I mean, he
They haven't slept together though this week, which is
a revelation. Yeah, they haven't slept together this
good.
week. Yeah, no. I mean, I think all the blood flow gets trapped in his neck where he wears those turtlenecks, so his brain doesn't quite function quite right. You know,
such a Branning.
Such a Branning.
That's a Branning trait, that is.
That'd be a great t-shirt, wouldn't it? Such a Branning.
Apparently, Max is back on week 19 of this year. So
is he going to bring
same week as Mitch? Not Mitch. What's his name? Mick. Mick and Max are back on the same week.
Mick and Max in McDonald Land.
Yeah.
Excellent.
2 characters I've not missed. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Wait. So yeah, Mel's going to get chucked out, but she says to Jack, she appeases to him and says, you know, this house has memories of Hunter.
And Debbie and Andy.
Oh,
that's my memory.
I know they're
And Wilmot Brown.
They haunt those walls, Debbie and Andy, don't they? And the 2 cats.
Oh yeah. Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Wilmot Brown. Who lives there now? Can't remember.
Oh, Sharon and Michelle.
Yeah, Sharon and Michelle.
We don't know who
And
lives
Hunter and Ray.
Well, Hunter and Ray. The ghosts in that house. If walls had ears, what the stories they would tell, eh, Ben?
So yeah, that's quite a loose thing for Mel to be like, I need to stay in this house because it's my only connection to Hunter. So why don't you move back to your Portuguese villa where you grew up as a happy child in? Surely that has better memories.
I mean, I forget, what did Mel come back for? Sorry, I genuinely just suddenly hit me. Why Mel's
I don't
return
know, it was a bit of
story?
that, she had that weird purple hat on, didn't she? She was stalking. It was for the heist money.
That's
right. Ben stole.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Ben, when he took that to go have his nice life in Portugal.
No links between Mel and Ben.
No, they had one scene where they were like, "Right, Mel, last time I saw you on a ferry. Yeah, bye." And that was it.
Yeah. So I do remember that.
That was why, but it didn't really make sense because it was that whole Kira thing, and Kira's brother Ray had kidnapped Hunter, but then Ray got introduced as a character. So it didn't really make sense that he kidnapped Hunter. It's very strange. Nothing really made sense.
Although Ray was cool, and if you want to listen to our interview with the actor who played Ray, look back on our old episodes.
Yeah, Ray, he didn't have no idea what Ray was going up to, did he?
No.
He said, I just knew whatever happened when the scripts came.
Sean Mann, interview, available now on all good podcasts.
So yeah, no one really knows why Mel came, but no one really knows why she's still here. She's just hanging about, getting some money.
Yeah.
Up for Hunter for 10 years.
I'm presuming it's basically Jack and Mel is the story that they're going with. I mean, when they stopped it, I was quite pleased.
I know.
To be honest.
You do feel sorry for the women who get lumbered with Jack, don't you? Because it's very difficult.
Yeah, but it comes to something where I actually feel sorry for Jack. It comes to something. Although, as always, he says one line or does one face expression. In the cafe on Friday, when he was looking over at Gray and Mel.
Oh, yeah, he's so jealous of Gray, isn't he?
His little eye.
There's sexual tension there.
Yeah, I know. Do you reckon Jack and Gray could have a...
Oh, yeah, they need to have a boxing fight, I think.
They need to let out their anger together, don't they?
Yeah.
They need
Mel
to wrestle.
Needs to watch.
Mel will probably put a bet on them. Yeah, so it's Mel and Jack. That's what I have to say.
I'm assuming she's going to stay there for 10 years then in that house, waiting for Hunter. She's there. She's on a 10-year contract. Time to enough wait then.
Yep.
She'll be there every year making money.
So look forward to more green in your lives.
Right, the last storyline, which was quite a short one, building up for like the big Sean.
Yes, they've been showing so many trailers for Sean's return, haven't they?
He's so broody, isn't he? Standing about everywhere.
Yeah, and
standing next to a grave in the pub,
holding the ring.
Yeah.
Hits Jack,
crying.
Yeah, he didn't cry when he hit Jack. Cheered.
No, I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, it's like building up to bringing back Sean into Jean's life.
And Stacey has pretty much done the first legwork of getting Sean back, but Kat warns her that perhaps it maybe not such a hot idea.
I don't know why. Is he that bad? I can't really remember how he left. I know he was in like an ice rink. Not an ice rink, like a icy lake. But I can't really remember why.
That wasn't when he left, though, was it?
I think that was
just
his last
before-
scene,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember. I know that she's like been on Skype with him though. Back when they kept showing her on Skype to like Zoe and Sean.
I love it
ago.
when she's on Skype to Zoe, and every time Kat walks in, it's like, go, bye.
Close the laptop.
Close the laptop.
But yeah, I need to look up Sean again because it's been so long.
Be good to get. Well, you need to get on there quick because it's not. I don't think it's next week. I think it's the following week.
Yeah, on a Friday.
Yeah, so they're gonna.
So
So
really
it might be
it's
the
like
end of
3
next
weeks.
week.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pad it out now. Jean keeps dropping little hints that she hasn't got her whole family around her. And by that she means.
Where's Hayley?
Well, where's Lynn? Where's Little Mo?
Little Mo's got blonde hair now.
Has she?
Short blonde hair, yeah, bleached.
Oh, well, for a role? Or is this Little Mo or is this the actress?
Both. They're
Oh, right.
the same person.
They're one of the same. I see.
I know.
I can't imagine Little Mo with bleached hair.
I know it doesn't work, does it? She can't
No.
come back now until she grows that out.
Yeah, she has to have nice straight black hair with a fringe.
Mm.
Or a bang
Sensible,
to our American
sensible
listeners.
Little Mo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has like a night out at Cush's apartment though, with the family.
Yes. And she, they're all trying to swirl up Jean to, just embrace life and feel good about it. And, her steps that she's taking are very positive. So let's embrace it and look forward.
I do feel sorry for Cush. His flat keeps getting like invaded.
Well,
He turned up and there was like 10 Slaters there.
Yeah, but
all
then
cackling.
But then he got quite a affectionate look from
I know.
a certain Kat Slater. That
She's
seems
real-
to be bubbling along.
She's right on it, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's desperate.
Something seems to keep coming up to the surface. A story
Yes,
between a story between Kat and Cush.
Again, it's his bum. That seems to do it for the women of Walford, because Kat was after his bum again.
Well, she was getting him to lift up the bench, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Arthur's bench.
Took a good look.
Shaquille / Arthur. Yeah. How do you
It's a bit
feel?
weird though.
How
Because,
do you
like,
feel about the Kat and Cush?
Stacey's kid is by Cush, isn't it? Arthur.
Yeah, but
So that's a bit odd.
everyone.
Yeah, I guess.
It's so incestuous, EastEnders. Let's be honest. I mean,
What about little Bex? Think how many pills she'll take when she sees Cush and Cat kissing.
well, she
Cush
won't
and
be.
Cat.
She won't be. Oh gosh, yeah, Cat kissing Cush. Oh my goodness, that's going to be difficult. Let's hope they don't get together, just so we don't have to make that sentence every 5 minutes.
Yeah, but odd coupling. Not sure if I don't know.
I don't mind it. I quite like it. I think it
Isn't Cat
feels
like similar age to Denise though? Surely that.
Yeah, but I
whole-
don't think that age was an issue for Cush.
No.
It never was
They
an
might as well have
issue.
kept
It was an
Cush and
issue for
Denise together.
Denise. It was always an issue for Denise, but never for Cush. Cush didn't mind. Cush don't care, does he? As long as he, I mean, I wouldn't put it past if a night had a bit too much alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Big Mo
Might
and
as well. Big Mo.
yeah, Big Mo and Cush.
No.
I would not put it past
Big Mo
them.
doesn't fancy him. Remember, he's not her type.
Oh yeah, Big Mo did mention someone she loved this week.
Fat Elvis, he's back.
No, it wasn't Fat Elvis. That's who she married. Yes, she mentioned that she had a thing for Kenny G. Oh, Kenny G.
Who's that?
I don't know, just some guy that's been mentioned, a new character.
Oh,
Maybe might turn up.
Big Mo's gonna get a storyline.
Yeah, well, she's
Kathy's
got a
got loads now.
storyline. She's got loads of Easter eggs to sell.
Oh yeah, it's just the same storyline though, just a different item. every
Costmart.
time.
They're branded Costmart.
I know she was upset about that, wasn't she?
Mm.
Stolen goods. But yeah, last time it was the coats. Now it's Easter eggs.
Yeah, but the coats weren't stolen. They were legit. And Big Mo argued that these were legit too. So who can tell? But yeah, no. So Jean is pining for Sean to return, and although Stacey has carried out the steps for that to happen, because she thinks that Sean should return. Although in a way, it's basically Stacey saying that she thinks her mum's going to die as well, isn't it? I suppose because Stacey's.
Yeah, it does feel very final, this storyline.
Mm.
I hope Jean doesn't die.
Well, I hope so too.
But like on the trailer, she like suddenly looked really ill and she had like no hair, which was weird.
Yeah, she was wearing a headscarf, and she
It
was
was like in a few weeks. It's very sudden. And he says something to her like, "I'm sorry, I've done this" or something on the trailer. So what's he done?
Oh.
Is
I
he
didn't-
dying?
Why
Is she
would
gonna-
he be sorry for him?
I don't
dying,
know. But it was very confusing.
though? Okay. Well, I
He said something on the trailer. It was really like, what?
the thing
Like
is,
he'd done something to her.
yeah, when it gets to the point when Jack gets smacked in the face, I kind of just lose concentration because I'm just cheering.
Yeah,
'cause-
well, that's going to be about Ronnie. Not Ronnie.
Ro-
Not Roxy.
Roxy.
She finally gets her death mention
yeah.
after all these years.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Someone cares.
Yeah, so again, it's a bit of a kind of, remember this story's happening? Well, we're just reminding you. Because, as I said, everything this week seemed to be the Mitchells. And then just a few things thrown in for good measure.
Yeah, I mean, Mo got rid of some of her eggs because she did a little Easter egg hunt for the kids. Nice old great granny Mo.
Oh, yeah, she organised that,
So
didn't
that
she?
was a nice happy little ending.
So you got your ending on this story anyway?
Yes.
For the week?
I did.
After your initial complaints at the beginning of the programme.
Right, so shall we move on to our Who Won the Week?
Yes, why not?
You know me, I ain't one to gossip.
So, as we do each week at the end of the show, we discuss who you have voted has won the week on our Twitter, Instagram and Facebook pages. But before we do any of that, we need to find out who had won previous weeks on the soap. So we take a retrospective look back with Ben at other years, this time on EastEnders, this week on EastEnders.
Yes, I'm going to start with birthdays and deaths.
Well, you're mixing it up this week.
Because one of the deaths links into what happened this time last year too. So, birthdays that we haven't had mentioned on this week's show. Terry Raymond, it was his birthday. Terry and Irene.
Oh, I like Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like Terry. I forgot about Terry.
18th of April, 1949.
He was with Janine and she had a dog and she named it Terrace. Terence after him. Yeah.
So, yeah, no one really mentions him. So, 21st of April, 1962, we have David Wicks. It was his birthday.
Wixie.
Yeah, so he's been celebrating with Simon in Australia with Peter Bill, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? And Saeed's birthday, Saeed Masood, was the 16th of April, 1984. So him and Christian and Jane have a little party, I think, in Brighton.
Yeah, they're probably away. Manchester, isn't it? They're in.
I don't know.
I think they're in Manchester.
Who knows?
Well, I do. Manchester.
Right, people who died.
Oh dear.
21st of April, 1988. This was on screen. And this was Tom Clements died. The Potman, the first Potman of Walford.
I love Tom. Tom is one of those characters that when we first started watching the classic EastEnders, I was like, I got no time for him.
Good to love him.
As time progressed, I really liked him. So I was sad to see his demise.
And then this links into the episodes which happened previous this time. 18th of April 2014 was Lucy Bill's death.
Oh yeah, Louise.
5 years.
Oh.
So I watched. I actually ended up. This always happens when I watch around this era. I watched like 5 episodes because I kept wanting to see what happens next. But it was interesting watching it because there's a few scenes when Ian is telling people that Lucy's died, and when he tells Jane that Lucy's died, obviously now we know that Jane is the one that moved the body and everything, and she's really like cold and really covering her back like it's nothing.
If my memory serves me right, she instigates the plan to get things like the lies, isn't she, and get things moving. So I kind of understand why she's cold like that. But yeah, it makes more sense.
And it was really interesting to me that the Bobby, it wasn't the Bobby who was revealed, it was the actor before him at the time when she died.
They brought in the other Bobby because he was better for the live for the live broadcast.
So that was like made it really obvious. Like back then, if they were like,
yeah, that's true.
Bobby's been recast for this storyline, it's like makes it really obvious looking back, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, not many people got it.
Yeah. So
it's surprising how well they did it if you think about it. Just in case anyone's not, we should have said a spoiler at the beginning.
Yeah, it's fine. It's 5 years. And obviously 19th of April we know is your birthday because you've told us at the beginning.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Oh,
so these are all episodes that aired on or closest to your birthday. So the 18th of April was when Lucy died in the allotment.
How inconsiderate of Lucy.
18th of April 2017, the Vic kitchen roof fell on Lady Di. And that was the Duff Duff.
When was that? 2017.
Yeah, that year.
That was the garbage, the litter story, wasn't it?
The garbage year. You're correct.
The garbage year. Yes.
19th of April 1990.
I was 7.
Yeah, Dirty Den's body has been taken out the River Thames and been confirmed to be Den by Sharon.
What?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that happened. I thought it was just presumed that it was Den, and then. So
because the body was one of the gangsters in the end, it turned out in like 2004.
I suppose the body had rot.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
It wouldn't be preserved very well in the Thames, would it? I guess.
But Michelle and Sharon are there, and they see the body come up, and it goes onto Sharon's face, and she's like, and then that's the Duff Duff. So she obviously recognises the body there and then.
And this is when Sharon's drinking began.
And the next day, she's walking around the square, and Pete Bill. If you want your Uncle Pete to do anything, Sharon, let me know. And he said he's wearing a black band on his arm, and Sharon takes it off. She says, "You, Pat, Kath, you all did your thing for me and Den years ago. You don't have to mourn him now." And she takes it off him. So there you go. That's your birthday fun.
Why did everyone die around my birthday?
Lady Di nearly died.
I feel really depressed.
No one died this year though.
Yet.
Although Louise might, fingers crossed.
Yeah. You never can tell. So we asked you on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook who had won the week, and we came up with some stories of our own. But we also got you guys to come up with some stories. So we had 6 this week.
Ooh.
So we had.
I added one.
You did. We had Beck's bright idea, Melnipulation, Karen Keegan, Bully Beef Ben, Kim can't, and Sharon's Big Willie. So
sounds tasty.
Yum. So I'm going to ask you who won the week then, of all those stories.
Oh God, Mel. I don't know why.
Melnipulation.
None of them won.
I think you have a high opinion of Mel's story because no, it did really bad.
Yeah.
So in last place was Sharon's Big Willie. It was a late entry. Sharon's Big Willie was a late entry by Ben, as he's already indicated. It got 2% of the votes.
That was me.
So yeah, if you wanted to know who wrote that
Sharon
one.
Seabass.
Yeah.
I had a picture and everything as well.
You did. You also asked people for names for Sharon's Big Willie, didn't you?
Yeah, my new favourite character.
Yeah. Shall we read out a few of the names that people suggested? I think we should. We had Ted Murray. So some of these I'm reading for the first time because they've come in just earlier. Brilliant one from @KingofWing. Trouty, brother of Shrimpy.
Oh.
Yeah. @EE Mitchell fan said Billy Bass. @Dazzler UK said for the fish. He looks a bit foul. I mean, that was genius. @Irish Terrence STL says Morris. I love that. It's just so Morris.
Sensible name for a fish.
Sensible name for a fish. @KBHSTL said Joe Pesky. Should be the fish's name. So there you go.
Random.
Well,
there you go.
There was a random question posed by you.
I also want to let everyone know that I have a thread that I want to actually happen where people badly draw characters on EastEnders and you have to guess who they are.
Oh yes.
And I'm trying to get it going and it's not going.
If you go to our Twitter
and our
EastEnders
Facebook
Week,
page, it's on there too.
Oh, and you need to join our Facebook group at EastEnders Weekly Podcast. You can see some pictures, a couple of pictures that people have badly drawn EastEnders characters.
Yeah. And I want them badly drawn, so that you don't have to worry if it's not very good. That's what I want. And people have to guess who it is because it's so bad.
Okay, right.
And I've done one, so you can guess who it is and then maybe make your own.
I mean, yours is quite staggering, to say the very least. But yeah, have a look. I'm looking at another one right here. Someone drew of Louise Mitchell.
That's what gave me the idea, the inspiration.
Maybe I'll post that Louise Mitchell picture a bit later on too, just so we can have a look. So in order then, Sharon's Big Willie came last. Then second to last was Melnipulation at 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Joint third was
Ben.
Bully Beef Ben.
Good.
And Kim can't. Thank you to Rob Innes for that suggestion. It's genius. I wish I'd thought of it, and I didn't. They both got 15%. Second with 19% was Beck's bright idea. So Karen Keegan won the week with 41%.
It's hardly in it. I'm shocked that Beck came second.
I know, one of the shortest stories, and it won the week.
We did say it needed more time.
Well, it's also a story with heart to it. And maybe this is what the direction we were saying earlier, the soap needs to go down. A bit more heart, a bit less gangster.
I want more kitchen sink drama. Just give me the kitchen sink.
Fair enough. I'm with you, Ben. Let's start a campaign. More kitchen sink drama. One notable comment this week for Who Won the Week from @BornSlippy96, who said, in God's name, who voted Bex? Keegan, for me, he's so different now of when he first arrived. So I think a lot of people have real affiliation with the Keegan Bailey storyline.
Will he win Best Actor at the Soap Awards? He seems to have a lot of fans, doesn't he?
I mean, when Bailey comes up for Who Won the Week, a lot of people seem to vote for her as well. So,
I forgot to say as well, have you heard that there's been like a backlash with the guy who plays Keanu? There's some like old tweets that have surfaced from like 6 years ago.
No.
Yeah. And someone on Emmerdale that happened to last week and she got fired.
Dear.
So I don't know if
Danny Walters?
Yeah. He's apologised straight away. It was tweets when he was 19, but the actress on Emmerdale had posted some tweets and she got fired the next week.
What were the tweets, or can you not say?
They were like to his friends, but they were like homophobic words. But yeah, I know.
Danny Walters.
19. It's not that young.
No, it's not. That's old enough to know better. No.
But I'm just wondering, because the woman on Emmerdale got fired, like, straight away. So I don't know what's going to happen to him.
Well, for similar to homophobic tweets?
No, hers were racist, but...
Well, it's one of the same.
Sort of thing,
it's hate, isn't it? It's a hate crime.
So I don't know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Keanu might end up in a...
hospital
locker.
From Phil. Yeah.
Kidnapped.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah,
No, that's news
strange,
to me.
isn't it?
I did
Just
not know
because
that.
I know that he's up for best actor as well, but obviously Keegan is too.
I don't know. I don't know enough to.
Oh no, yeah. Look
maybe
into
talk
it.
about.
And we'll
Yeah,
talk
I
about it
might.
next week.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, definitely. Quickly, I put on Twitter. Do you have any thoughts, questions, or comments about this week's EastEnders? A few came in. We had at TV updated says have Habiba and Ikra died. Where is Ted? Why has Tracy got more screen time than them?
Leave our Trace alone.
I mean, Tracy deserves
She had
screen
2
time.
lines this week.
And Shrimpy was back as well in the
I
cafe,
know,
but he didn't
yeah.
say anything.
I know, so he nearly did.
And then
But they wouldn't let
nothing.
him
Yeah,
in.
no.
Out the door.
Oh,
Out
yeah,
the camp.
get out. I take it as a yes, and then he walked out. That was the line
Mm.
that was said by Kush or Martin.
It's
I
because
can't
Tracy
remember.
had 2 lines, you see, so they couldn't give
Can't give
Shrimpy
two.
one.
Exactly. All the extras
She
have
sneaked
2 a
in
week.
that extra line, didn't she,
Yeah.
Tracy?
2 a week. Extra drink. Little Ms. Lost One said, this is really out there, but do we know how old Morgan, Tiff's younger brother, is?
You asking me that?
I don't know.
I can find out.
Oh,
He's
okay.
what? I don't know, he's like 3 years. Is he younger than Tiff?
Well, younger brother would indicate it was, yeah.
That's what I was saying. I think he's like 3 years, isn't he? Because he came back last time for Whitney and Lee's wedding. That's when
Yeah.
Tiff and him like made an appearance once. So maybe he'll turn up for Whitney's second wedding.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know how old he is.
You dodged the question well.
13.
Okay,
There you go.
there you go. We'll
Do
look
you know how old Tiff is? 16? She's 16, isn't she?
Yeah, she's 16.
Yeah, 13, 14, 15.
At
I don't even know who his dad is. Who's his dad?
Who knows?
I don't like that family, the Butchers. So I have no recollection. I'm sorry.
You don't like the Butchers?
No.
What, Pat and Frank?
No, I like Pat and Frank.
And-
I like the
and
original
Bianca?
Butchers.
Ricky?
No. From Bianca downwards, not really fast.
Carol?
Yeah.
My goodness.
I like Tiff and Whitney.
Okay. At Shazza B74 said
And the one that died of alcohol poisoning. She was
Billy. But they only did that. I still think they only did that because there was 2 Billies in the soap and it was confusing too many people. That's like a rule in soaps. Do not have people with the same name on screen.
Yeah.
At Shazza B74 said, too much Kim, Louise and Bex, who are all awful. I'm already hoping for Kat and Kush, and I love Psycho Ben. There you go. So she likes Psycho Ben. And finally, at Hufflepuff Lock said, I'm feeling confused by the Kat Kush thing. It's really hard to say Kat and Kush.
I know. Let's stop that.
I like
Everyone's
it.
To die.
I like it, although I'm not really sure where it's come from. I'd rather they wrapped up whatever's happening with Bex and Kush first before introducing another love interest for them. Perhaps he should go for Mo and keep it simple. I agree with that.
Mo don't want him.
No, Mo
You don't want Mr. Muscle.
nothing to do with him. She sees him naked every morning. That's all she needs.
Yeah, don't do anything for her.
Thank you for your comments, your questions, and your interactions with
Your
us on
ears.
social media. Yeah, we love getting them on Twitter at EastEnders Week, Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast, or you can join our Facebook group. Just search EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Or email us, of course, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. And as I say, send us your comments about how you feel Ben Mitchell is on the soap at the moment. What's your feelings about Ben Mitchell? I'll be really interested, and we'll read them out
Come on,
next
Duncan
week.
Lindsay.
Yeah,
Let me know.
get in touch, Duncan. We'd love to continue the chat.
I just wanted to quickly say an email's just come through as well from the BBC.
Oh,
It's a cease and desist, and it's telling us to stop immediately, or they're sending Big Mo over.